Hello and welcome to the Carnegie Report. It's March 2021. I'm Gary Peer.
And I'm Leo Samuel.
You are indeed Mr. Carnegie. It's all happening. You go into realestate.com or Domain or Real Estate View or any of the websites. You look at who's been selling in Carnegie, and I tell you what, it's just us. There
We're doing all right, Gary, aren't we?
There are a few others. We're not the only ones selling, but we're selling the most and we're selling the best houses in the area. So we are doing all right, and it's very exciting. We thank the Carnegie community for giving us a crack and an opportunity since we've moved in there, although we were selling there since our business opened in 1986. So we've been there a long time, but certainly physical presence in Carnegie Murrumbeena has not been that many years compared to, I guess, how long we've been around sitting in Caulfield. Anyway, it's been an exciting journey and it continues with lots of fantastic people. We've got some new people that have joined us.
We have.
I think we can talk about
it's
that
been
too.
an interesting few months since our last segment, Gary. Obviously, with 2021, we all know what that was all about, but it's good to be back out in postcode 3163. And hasn't the market started off with a bang and some amazing results, which we'll cover often as well, and some great listings as well. But very excited to be back out there after a sort of a COVID hangover. But yeah, it's good to be out the streets of Carnegie.
Some of the sales, some of the results are quite staggering compared to what prices used to be, particularly in Murrumbeena. Now there's $2 million sales in Murrumbeena aplenty. All of a sudden, if you're a Murrumbeena property owner, you had something that wasn't that long ago. It was worth $1 million, 800, 900, 1112. Now this property's selling there for $2 million. It's become quite an extraordinary suburb, Murrumbeena. Of course, a specialist there.
Just to add to that, Gary, as one would know, if you sort of talk about Murrumbeena, the sort of the Boyd Park precinct, with the bigger blocks, but always sort of the last few years hitting the 2 million, but literally up towards even North Road behind our favourite Middle Eastern eatery in Oasis, that pocket now getting over 2 million for big, good period homes with modern extensions. Yeah,
it's become quite extraordinary. The weekend results, last weekend, 84% I think it was, which pretty much matched the national average, or the major cities in Sydney and in Melbourne, and certainly other cities. But that is quite extraordinary. I mean, that really is the sign of, the market doesn't get much better than that in terms of clearance rates. That is a very robust, strong market.
Yeah, and look, to measure that as well, we went into that snap lockdown, Gary, and the buy demand was huge. That 1 week where we couldn't auction on the 13th and 14th of February, we made up for time with some midweek auctions, and we brought them to a close with unbelievable competitive tension at some of the auctions, which we'll cover often as well.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about what's going on outside the front of our Murrumbeena office. We've got a bar there now.
Murrumbeena Wine Bar.
Tell us a bit about that. We'll give them a bit of a plug and a promo. Have you had a few drinks over there or any nibblies yet or not?
Unfortunately, I don't because, we work crazy hours and I'm always on the ball, Gary, saying that, not just outside of the office isn't a wise thing to have a few drinks. But look, Murrumbeena Wine Bar next door to our office there.
Great.
Great spot, with the outdoor government allowing off the restrictions there. They've sort of
They've got the tables outside. They've got the tables outside our office.
They
there.
do.
Yeah, fair enough.
Great little business there as well. But look, the eateries. It's good to see people back out. Not just eating takeaway food, but actually eating in the dining areas as well.
For sure. And Koonang Road buzzing again. I mean, it was probably went through a hard time if you're a trader there. You're paying a good commercial rent, or probably a bit less, of course, during the COVID period. But what a shame when all those months went past and you couldn't trade. But now. The restaurants are full, the car parking's being taken up by all of the people going out and about. Saturday night buzzes in Koonang Road if you want to experience.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. I was there last
Saturday
night and having a look at trying to get a car park, very busy indeed.
And even going into Levi, the cafe there for a bite of lunch the other day. It's a big cafe, it seats a lot of people, but gee, it was full. So good to see the eateries and fine restaurants and a range of every type of cuisine. That's one of the great things about the Koonang Road and Carnegie and surrounds precinct. Let's talk about some of the places that we've sold, Leo, because I know people that tune into the show want to know what's going on, what are things getting. So there's a few exclusives right here you won't see anywhere else, but let's talk about that property 389 Kangaroo Road, because that one was a hopping good sale.
Oh, you're so funny, Gary. Comedy Festival is in March, so this is a perfect edition for the viewers. You got in early here. You don't have to go to Festival Hall to watch the comedy because it's on in the Carnegie Report. But Kangaroo Road was actually scheduled for that auction that was on the snap lockdown weekend. We brought it to a close on Thursday at 5:30. We had a full house or full common driveway, I should say, with the socially distancing needed. But it was really, really good, Gary. We had 4 bidders competing for this villa unit. And Philip mentioned in our sales meeting this morning, there's definitely a repricing on a more of an increased point of view in terms of villa units because they're so hot at the moment. But this one, that sold out 10% over reserve. Call it, 683 was the eventual selling price, but highly competitive.
You can call it that because that's exactly what it was. One at 1 Murrumbeena Road, another competitive sale. Prices undisclosed, but the range was 8 to 880. Suffice to say, we sold it for nowhere near that, a lot more.
Very much well above reserve, but quite an interesting offering too on the corner of Dandenong Road in Murrumbeena. Those Murrumbeena local would have driven by, seen our board there the last few weeks and actually selling next door now. But that sold really, really well and well handled by Jack Slater and David Thompson. 13
Rosella Street, Murrumbeena, another very strong sale. Can't say the result, I don't think there, but I don't know what the range was on that. But it's
I can say because I was handling that with Jack Slater. Very pretty home here.
What was
lovely
the range?
As vendors. We were quoting. We're expecting interest at 1.1 to 1,210,000. All I can say, just to give you a guide, we sold it over 10% over the reserve price, very comfortably indeed, and it was a buyer's advocate who literally just threw an offer in about 70 grand over the reserve price initially, and Phil did his. He was in his element there, and it was a decent crowd, but sold to the most lovely owner-occupier who will enjoy this pretty home.
62 Miller Street, sold for $1,506,000.
Competitive auction with 4 bidders going for that one. Sold really well in one of Carnegie's great streets.
23 Poth Road, somewhat of a record price there. $2,285,000 for this magnificent home. Now we're in it. I love that. We talk about houses and all of a sudden we're in them. Tell us about that.
Graham Callan handled this property for this most lovely family, had been there since the 1970s. A very beautiful home. But the interesting is, before I got the reserve price come auction day, Gary, they said to me, Lior, we would love anything over 1.8. That's what it's all about. It means the world to us for our retirement.
Isn't that great?
3 bidders went crazy for this one. We sold it for $2,285,000. And I think I've made a new best friend over there. But that was really well handled by Graham and Dan from the office. And it just shows you that the demand for land in that Murrumbeena pocket is so hot at the moment.
And let's stop now at 45B Kinloch Avenue, Murrumbeena. $1,560,000 for that one. Another big Murrumbeena
Very
sale.
proud of this sale. Interesting story about the market. Hasn't moved 10, 15, 20%, who knows? But the good thing is we were entrusted to sell this property. Next door had been, same owner, they had given it to another competitor, I'm not going to say who, but we're proud to say that we sold very much a similar product for 10% more through, I'd like to think, obviously the market, but that was really well handled by Jack, and we had 3 bidders going for that, sold well above reserve.
Fantastic. Jack Slater, one of our Carnegie stars, doing some incredible stuff. A few others that have been sold. The expression of interest campaigns at Elliott Avenue. Tell us about those. One sold for $616, one sold for $705.
You're a fan of Elliott Goblet, weren't you?
Hey, I used to love Elliott Goblet. In fact, Elliott Goblet I owe an apology to because Elliott Goblet's real name is Jack Levy, and I was supposed to play tennis with him once, and I stood him up. Which would have been a great fun game, although probably would have killed me. But
he doesn't blink. So how do you know if you're serious?
Well, that's the other thing. I don't know. But he was a great comedian. But Elliott Avenue, Carnegie's a great address.
That's right. And we've been entrusted to sell a few apartments in this complex, and sold really, really well. We had a ton of people through that sort of sweet spot, Gary, with first-time buyers, with stamp duty concessions available to them. They're going off at the moment in terms of buying, people just wanting it and stamp duty being covered.
That's a few of the sales that are going on in Carnegie and surrounds, so to give you a bit of a flavour and a feel of what people are paying. And that probably will help you when you're looking at something to buy. We've got some great properties that you can buy. We're starting off in Jersey Parade. You can be one of the Jersey boys or girls if you buy this property, 128 Jersey Parade.
Well, that's around the corner, on the corner of Elliott Avenue and Jersey Parade, another great complex there. 3-bedroom apartments, house size proportion. It's going really, really well. Jack's had great numbers through this property. We're expecting between that sort of 8 to 880 range. I believe this one's going to go well.
As you mentioned, selling right next door to the one in Murrumbeena Road that we sold, which was 1 at 1. This is now 2 at 1 Murrumbeena Road.
Yeah, so this one is actually a 2-bedroom one. It's a split-level residence, sort of deco style, very unique in terms of offering. So if you're a buyer that you want something with a bit of character, you've seen what villa units are selling for in the area. This one as well, in a subdivision of only 3 with actually no owners corporation set up there, no common land. Check that one out as well.
2 at 20 Cockerib Road, Carnegie.
Great villa unit, unbelievable villa units in terms of the growth we've seen. For those buyers that can stretch a little bit more over as opposed to buying an apartment, definitely go for a villa unit. this one's also been very popular, Gary. Single level market, love it.
Hollywood comes to Carnegie. That's number 7, Hollywood Grove. That's a great address.
Great street, great position, great home on the north side of the street. Beautiful home in terms of floor plan. It flows really nicely, but it's got the potential to improve in time as well.
Hollywood comes to Carnegie, and so does Scotland. We've got Kinloch Avenue, which is a good Scottish name, I would have thought.
That's it. Well, Kinloch is also a popular spot behind the North Road end of Murrumbeena. This position is going off at the moment because it's in the 2022 McKinnon zone now. So the demand there for land is unbelievable. We've seen it already since the rules were announced by the local minister late last year. But this one's going really, really well, handled by Darren Crongold at present. But yeah, especially after those Kinloch townhouse results, be a perfect home to do up, or a home site, or townhouses.
The Prestige sales team, of course, Darren Crongold and his team, doing a lot also in the Carnegie Murrumbeena market at the top end, working together with, of course, the Carnegie experts, which is great. 211 Emily Street, Carnegie. That looks like a wonderful little opportunity to buy. Quite affordable, Leo.
Yeah, large apartment there, built the old-fashioned way with some large outdoor space. No doubt you'll see the pictures flickering through now, but check that one out if you want something special in terms of apartment living.
Now, Rishi, we talked about introducing him. We should show a little image of Rishi. Here he is on the screen, very happy and very, very dynamic young agent. Tell us a bit about Rishi and tell us about the top he's handling.
Rishi's a great guy, and look, he'd been following our progress for many, many years. He's worked for some local competitors over the last few years.
In that Carnegie market?
In the Carnegie area, so he's very much, he knows it like the back of his hand, lives not too far away as well, but working alongside me at the moment, and expect good things from Rishi in time.
Well, you can expect to see him at 2 at 43 Rosstown Road, Carnegie. It's a great address and lovely looking home.
Yeah, one of his first listings since he started with us, but this is a great apartment as well. Good one for an investment or first home opportunity.
We'll finish off, I think, and bring the curtain down with number G08. 332 Neeran Road, Carnegie. Tell us a little about this one, Leo.
Well, you like the Scottish theme with Kinloch, so G-O-G-G-O.
G-O-O.
G-O-A.
Gogolmobile.
Gogolmobile. 2-bedroom with a courtyard, 2 bathrooms, great position near all the action amongst Koonang Road shops and near their Saul's, you know, the sandwich place, literally about 100 metres away from there. That's queues out the door for that one, quite a popular spot.
I've got to get to that place. It's quite extraordinary. If you're ever driving along Neeran Road, you just get to Koonang Road, you're going to see a buzzing metropolis of people all scurrying around the doorway of this fantastic place. Have you been in there and eaten any of the sandwiches yet?
I haven't, because I've actually dropped a few kilos because I've lost my COVID weight. It's not a bad thing for the business, but there's a good owner there. His name's Leor as well, and he's a very good operator in the cafe scene. So go check them out as well. Fair
enough. Well, there's one Leor recommending another Leor. Looks like they stick together. That is a big wrap of what's happening in the Carnegie and surrounds area. It is a market that is exciting. It's an area where so much is happening. There's development going on. There's great restaurants happening. So plenty on offer in and around Carnegie. And we're going to bring you all the Carnegie news every month, because we went off the air a little bit when we were sort of locked down. We couldn't work out what to do. You can have only this many people in the office. You've got to wear a mask. No, you don't. Now you can have this many people at the auction. Now you have to social distance. Now you're okay. Now this is the space without the masks, with the masks. It's just, who can keep up with it? But anyway, we are back in business, back rolling. Auctions are happening, and we are looking forward to servicing you and bringing you the news through 2021. My name is Gary Peer.
And I'm Leo Samuel.
We will see you next month. Thank you.